I was just gonna, what I wanted to say also is that I've been a resident of Santa Paula for the last 46 years. So I hope I can respond to your questions. And what I'd like to begin is to kind of give you a little bit of an introduction. I feel that in leadership, there's some essential tools or skills that you need to begin to think of developing. It's important that you develop a good listening skills to hear what your community is talking about. It's discussions that are taking place. So therefore, it's important that you do an assessment to educate yourself as to the issues that are taking place in your community. You need to also begin to speak out, either self or collectively. Collectively meaning joining an organization. And then important is that you begin to also formulate some possible solutions to whatever concerns may come up that you're looking to undertake. And what that leads to is to a plan of action. So that becomes important, and I hope that I can tie all that up in the next few minutes. By way of a quick introduction to my involvement and my engagement in leadership, I was a high school student in 1968 when the LA walkouts occurred. And this was, the LA walkout was the largest manifestation, protest of students ever been recognized in this country. Thousands of students took to the streets, and what they were looking for ways to address the concerns dealing with their education. Not only their education, the poor education that we're getting, and the conditions that were taking place in the schools. There was a lot of racism, and so the walkouts had a major impact in bringing to the forefront the conditions of the students were experiencing at that time, not only in LA, but throughout the country. And as a result of that, or side by side, we see the beginning of the Chicano movement. The Chicano movement then became the vehicle, in my opinion, that would then begin to address the concerns and begin to move towards looking for solutions and addressing these concerns. Fast forwarding, I can say that many of us who are a product of not only the civil rights, but involved in the Chicano movement, continue to, we remain active. And unfortunately, it's only been up until recently that we have really begun to see our impact and in terms of the overall picture of not only of our efforts in this country. And the reason why is because we have relied extensively kind of a local media, newspapers, and historically newspapers have not been very friendly to Chicano Latino issues. Those of our members of our movement that became writers, it's always been difficult to get published. So consequently, our history, although has been told, and it really hasn't been shared with too many. The schools have been very reluctant to adopt Chicano studies courses, and therefore things have remained pretty much very much in kind of it was still kind of relegated to a second class participation in our school systems. We are making some progress, not to take anything away from the progress that's been made, but I feel that now with social media, I think that much more hopefully will be accomplished. So with Latino Town Hall, the organization, I'm the president of Santa Paula Latino Town Hall. The organization is a nonprofit organization that was formed in 1996. And so you may wonder, well, why the organization? Well, as I kind of give you a little background, up until 1996, at least in Santa Paula, there had been activism, and there's been activism going on in our valley and in our county for a long, long time. But it became a question that, we were not really making any significant inroads. We worked with the traditional processes. You work to get Latinos elected, you work to get people in office, and you hope that change will come about, whether it's at the school district level, the college level, city council, and up and down the state. And there's been some change, but it's been slow in coming, and a lot of times it's really not been in line with the needs of your specific community. So that was the case with with Santa Paula in 1996. We had explored all these possibilities with very little change. So it became a question of then if we don't do it, who's going to do it? And I think that's what young Latinos need to be asking themselves. If you don't get involved, if you don't move in the direction of either collaborating with others, then who do you think is going to bring about the change? And I can tell you that the establishment is not ready, has never been ready to really jump and take action. It's going to be a slow process. So we had situations where we had standing elected officials, the likes of Laura Espinosa, Dr. Gabino Aguirre. Unfortunately, they found themselves being one of 5 council members and with opposition coming from the other 3 or the other 4. And so it was very, very frustrating. So we thought, you know what, we need to do something in a more collective way. So Latino Town Hall was formed with that in mind. So the idea of the organization is that we want to empower our members to become advocates and to begin to address the issues facing our community. And important in our efforts is that we have developed a strategic plan, and the strategic plan is to help us guide the work of the organization, to expand social and mental health services, to expand opportunities for youth, especially in the area of leadership and career development. We are working collectively. We have learned that as good as an organization we have, it's still a challenge in trying to get agencies, especially public serving agencies, to bring about change. So we work to strengthen our positions by participating and joining other nonprofits so that we can have a greater impact. So we have worked collectively with Santa Clara Valley together on issues, for example, dealing with expansion of services to the East Campus, continue to work to bring about an educational center to the Santa Clara Valley, something that was promised back in 2002. Money that taxpayers are still paying every year for something that has not yet materialized. So that is a concern, and that's something that we will continue to address. We are continuing to address the educational gap that exists in our public schools and our system. We have continued to really impress upon the district administration that better quality of education, better results need to come, need to take place, because our students are leaving our schools and they're still struggling when they get to the community college. A high percentage, over 60% of our students in our district are non-proficient in standardized tests. And it's a concern. And we continue to address those. There's been a lot of money that has come into all districts, and specific in Santa Paula, to address this academic gap. And yet the gains have been small, and much more needs to happen. So other things that we're doing as an organization, we're addressing the the concerns regarding mental health services, behavioral health services. A high percentage of our community population, and this goes across any community. We have a high percentage of people who are in need of services, and yet the services are not reaching our community. So we're sitting at the table with the leadership, with the administration from the county, and we are demanding that services improve, that the outreach efforts need to really change. The idea of waiting for people to come to an office has not produced effective outreach. So we have put in place programs now. We have a project called Logrando Bienestar, which has hired bilingual, bicultural outreach coordinators to go out and kind of knock on the doors and identify those families that need service, and then actually helping them through the process of getting them service. So we have to demystify mental health, and you do that by educating the community. So a lot of what we do is we work on educating our community, and that's why the name is Latino Town Hall, because we use town hall meetings to bring together agencies, community people at large, and provide a forum where we can have open dialogue, learn from one another of what we're doing and what needs to happen. We've been conducting almost every 3 to 4 years assessments of the needs of our community, and have used that information to align services, and we've been very, very successful. So a couple of other campaigns, and I'll finish with this, that we've been engaged in is working with the census. The census, to all of you that are listening, please complete the census, talk to your family, your familia, your relatives, and get them to respond to the census. The census deadline has been extended to the end of the month. Very important also is get out to vote. We have to, there's only 2 types of power in this country as far as I'm concerned. You either have money or you use the vote to bring about change. So in our Latino communities, we really don't have the kind of money that it takes to influence change, but we do have the potential, the power of vote, and so we have to vote. So our organization it consists of volunteers, and because of the amount of work that we're doing, really one of the things that we are focusing on right now is to increase our membership. So if you are interested and want to learn more about what I just finished sharing with you, please don't hesitate. Either contact me or visit our website. You can visit us at www.sp-lth.org and learn more about our organization. We're in the process of celebrating our 24th annual Community Awards, where we honor our volunteers who are making contributions to make Santa Paula a better place to live. And so with that, I would like to open it up for questions, or I hope I have not exceeded my time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lorenzo. We're going to hold our questions till the end, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you, Mr. Meraz, for sharing your wisdom and experience with us and inspiring us to continue to advocate for positive change in the community. What you shared is so timely and important, and we certainly appreciate you bringing that forth today. Next, I'd like to introduce Mr. Manuel Menjarez. He is the former mayor of Fillmore and holds a Bachelor's of Arts degree in Urban Studies and Planning from California State University, Northridge, and brings with him a thorough knowledge of local, county, state, and federal governmental systems from the perspective of both staff and an elected official. Mr. Menjarez and his wife, Susan, are longtime residents of Fillmore, where they are raising their 4 children. Thank you for being with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much. Just a quick thing to my bio. Things have changed for me so quickly. We've my family and I we've moved. Purchased a house in Santa Paula within the last month. So now we're residents of Santa Paula. So still in the Santa Clara River Valley. Got a deep love for Fillmore, and yeah, I just want to speak a little bit about my experience working with Santa Clara Valley Together, the advocates from the Santa Paula area, in trying to raise awareness about the need for an educational center in the Santa Clara River Valley area, and how the bond measure that had been passed in the early 2000s failed to meet the needs and the promises that were made at that time, but that the needs from that bond measure still remained and continue to get more. That need continues to grow. So I was introduced to the needs for the educational center by Lorenzo Moraza and by Laura Espinoza and other members of Latino Town Hall during the formation of Santa Clara Valley Together. They had reached out to elected officials in both Santa Paula and Fillmore, and so when I heard about this kind of went right in line to the reason why I ran for city council and Fillmore to begin with, which you listen to your community, and that you do everything you can to get behind and champion the issues that you believe are going to have the biggest impact in your community and in your region. And living in Fillmore, a small community, 3.5 square miles, approximately 16,000 population, 80% Latino, low income community. That there are significant needs in terms of education and paths to better quality of life and jobs, and a better higher path to higher education is definitely something that I saw personally with my wife, who was a graduate of Fillmore High School. And I met her at Cal State Northridge, and she was seeking to further her education, to get a master's degree. And she finished her education at Channel Islands, which was a little difficult in terms of transportation. Coming from a low-income family, it was hard for her to purchase her first car. It was hard for her to keep that car operable, to get to school and to continue her education. So we experienced it firsthand. So again, when a Latino Town Hall approached me about being a part to advocate of the advocacy for an educational center, I thought it was definitely worthy of my time. So I did. I became a member of Santa Clara Valley Together and began working with to get the word out on the need for that educational center. And from that, Latino Town Hall and Santa Clara Valley Together worked hard to put together a forum, an education forum, to have members of the Fillmore and Santa Paula communities talk about what the needs were in terms of employment. So they had representatives from the county of Ventura talking about what type of jobs that they foresaw a need for, and their difficulties in recruiting locally. And then we heard from economic forecasters to hear about what the needs were of the economy going forward in the next 5 to 10 years. And trying to bring everybody in the same room to get on the same page in terms of, what do we need to do to prepare our students in the Santa Clara Valley so that they can fill the jobs of the present and the future. So that work still remains, with Dr. Jesus Vega now at heading up the East Campus, the work of the East Campus. And from what it seems like, the community college has committed to begin the path to lay down the foundation to try to establish an educational center, and there's work ongoing to look for a potential site. So it's exciting. It's exciting. When I first heard about the hurdles that remained to try to even accomplish something like this, the funding had already been spent. So it's not like we could have went back to the the community college and said, hey, look, that funding, those millions of dollars that would have built an educational center that the Santa Clara Valley needed. Hey, can we get that back? That wasn't necessarily on the table. So it was definitely a path that where it was hard to kind of see the type of outcome that we would need, but that groundwork has been laid, and there's still a lot of work to be done. There's still a lot of work in terms of getting the type of support from, I think, the community, the board of trustees of the community college to support that. But it has moved forward, and just glad to have been a part of it, to be a part of it, and look forward to getting more of our youth involved in that process. So yeah, that's been my experience specifically, working on that particular issue. I was reaching the end of my second term as a council member. Had very appreciative for everything that I had learned in the past 8 years, and had to step down because I did move out of Fillmore before my second term ended. I currently work for Ventura County Supervisor Kelly Long, and an advisor on issues specifically within the Santa Clara Valley River area of communities of Santa Paula, Fillmore, and Piru, and also East Lockwood Valley, and on issues related to affordable housing, of course, COVID-19, our healthcare issues, and on planning issues. So, would like to make myself available for any questions, and really just encourage, the youth that are watching here today to not ever put out of your mind the opportunities or the goal of becoming an elected official. Me, myself, I wasn't an outstanding student in high school, but definitely had plans on attending college and finding employment and helping, my community where I live. So I became a city planner in the city of Fillmore. Really learned a lot about how a city functioned. I think part of that was working in a small city. So really got to understand, how urban planning works, how public works and engineering work together. How our finance department and systems work, and learned a lot that way. And by the time I was 30, when I ran for office, I felt fully prepared and ready to take on a really large responsibility like running for office. So I would definitely not put out those type of leadership potential opportunities from your path. And the sky's the limit. Stay involved in your community. I think the biggest thing that the youth have to learn is how to prioritize their time. 20 years ago, we didn't have the power of the internet as we have it today to acquire the sheer amount of information to stay abreast of issues of importance at the local, regional, and state and federal level. But we have those today, but we also have, time to spend, watching, cute cat videos on the internet, and so to speak. So I think prioritizing your time, staying involved in your local politics, continuing to educate yourself, and I think those are going to be incredibly important in the years to come. So once again, thanks for the time. Thanks for having me here.
Thank you, sir. We're really appreciative of you being here once again, and thank you for your leadership and for sharing your experience and your perspective with us.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce next Enrique Rodriguez. He was born and raised here in Ventura County. He is a Santa Paula High School graduate of year 2018 and a first-generation Latinx student. He is the vice president of the Associated Students of Ventura College. He is also in his third year at VC, and his major is agricultural business. He hopes to transfer to Cal Poly San Luis Obispo or Texas A&M. He is also involved with different clubs on campus, including Ideas, Ag Ambassadors, and the Anthropology Club. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you for having me. So I'm here to talk to you guys about Well, first of all, thank you for coming to this event. It means a lot. I'm here to talk to you guys about how the East Campus and how I'm a student there, I take my perspective of it. So in high school, I really did not like the class sizes. In my opinion, they were a little too big, and there was nothing I can do about it because my counselors would just set up the schedule for me. But then as soon as I graduated high school, I really didn't know what to do. I applied to 4 years, but I never really got the full process of the application. I didn't know that I needed to submit my own transcripts. So then I applied for Ventura College, not knowing what to expect, and I got in. So then I started looking at the different classes that they offered, and I saw that it said East Campus, and then in an asterisk it says Santa Paula location. At that time, I really didn't drive or have a transportation to get over there. So I decided to take a couple courses here, and I'm proud to say that the East Campus was where I took my first course here at a community college, and it was outstanding. Since the classes were smaller, I got to know my professors more and also my classmates. And with that, I started building up a network here at our East Campus, not only with the professors, but also with the administration team that we have here and our counselors. One thing I do have to say is that counseling here at the East Campus is a lot easier to get an appointment than over at the main campus, because not a lot of students understand or have the notion that we also provide services here at our East Campus. This past year, I had the pleasure of serving as the director for our East Campus, so I got to learn a little bit more about the behind the scenes and what really happens. To my surprise, not really surprise, but to my notion, I got to see what type of the community and population we serve here at our East Campus. Traditionally, community college students are right out of high school and they are on the younger side of age. For example, myself, I graduated in 2018. But over here at the East Campus, when I was the director of East Campus, I realized that it was more of a community-based serving institution where I was able to communicate with some of the students, and they told me some of their stories about how they would be working in the fields and just come right out of work and go to their classes, which is something that was so surprising to me, because it made me realize something that I learned in high school was that you need to have your motivation to continue with education. And one thing that they always told me was that les tienes que echar ganas, which means you gotta put in your effort to make it to the other side. Also, with being able to serve as the director of East Campus, I was able to learn about the different resources and some of the resources that we want to bring over to our East Campus. So now with everything going on with COVID-19, all the resources have been transported to online. So now it's easier for our students to get those resources and get the help they need, which is something that is really important, because as myself, first year there, I would not talk to a counselor or even to my, I would just go and get my classes and just that'll be it. But now joining the different resources that we are hoping to offer on our East Campus as well, such as EOPS. I joined EOPS this last academic school year, which has been a true blessing in my opinion. I got to talk to the counselors there. I got to join their club as well. And I also got to learn the different resources that EOPS offers to all the students. So one final thing I would like to say is that I encourage all the students here on our call to at least take one course at our East Campus. It would be better if we were on in-person learning, because you will see how it's different from our main campus. But yeah, so thank you for having me here, and I'll hope for some questions at the end. Thank you.
Okay, well, I'd like to say thank you, Enrique, for sharing. We appreciate your leadership here on campus, and we're just proud of what you bring to the table. Thank you for highlighting some of the resources and ways to become more involved. Next, it is my pleasure to introduce Dr. Jesus Vega. Dr. Vega is the Assistant Dean for Ventura College East Campus in Santa Paula and Student Engagement. He is a first-generation college student and graduate. He received his bachelor's degree in history from the University of California, Irvine, a Master of Arts in Chicano Studies, and his doctoral degree in educational leadership from California State University, Northridge. For the past 2 decades, he has been a strong advocate for equitable access to higher education for Latino students, as well as other minoritized communities. Thank you, sir, for being with us today.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it. Libby, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen because I'm a visual person. So let's see.
It should work for you.
Going to give it a shot here. Let's see. It says you disabled the participant screen sharing, Libby.
Okay. Now it should work.
Okay, let me know when you all see the presentation on your screens. Are we good?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes, we are good.
So what I wanted to talk to you all about today was Lorenzo and Manuel and Enrique gave you a historical aspect of what the East Campus has been in the past years. So what I wanted to talk to you all briefly about today was the current status, the full academic programs that we have on our campus, the question that everybody has when we sit around a table, the enrollment, what does it look like? What are we doing? And then the last thing is that I wanted to have a conversation with you all about community access. So as Enrique mentioned in his portion of the presentation, under COVID-19, we are currently closed. So students and staff are not able to come onto our campus. However, that doesn't mean that we still don't provide services. All our services are either online, via email, or through phone. So we've kind of lost our face-to-face interaction with our students, which is, I think, one of the largest components and successes that we have at the East Campus. But we do still have services provided. So financial aid is still available. Our counseling team is still available. Our basic needs office comes out every other Tuesday, so to provide food pantry, and it's on a drive-up basis. So for instance, on the 13th of October, the 17th of November, and then in December from 3:30 to 5:30, community members and students can pass by the East Campus parking lot and still be able to pick up food necessities that they may have, and possibly ask questions if they have home insecurities and things of that nature. So we may not be there present physically, but we're still there to support our students in any way that we can. Spring 2021, as you all may have heard, we are going to be closed as well. Oh, sorry, let me go back up one. Limited access in November. So starting in November, we are going to be opening up our campus on Tuesdays and Thursdays to provide access to our Business V97 course, which is our medical assisting course. And the students will be coming onto campus to be able to conduct their lab sessions during the month of November and the first 2 weeks of December. We're also hoping that we'll be able to open up our LRC, our Learning Resource Center, so students can access the computer lab, so that way they can, if they need to study for finals or write a paper, whatever it may be, they'll have our computer lab there available for them. So that's coming in November, and I'll update the campus community and the Santa Paula and Fillmore community as well if that does come to fruition. In spring 2021, we will be closed again. Classes will be online or they'll be via Zoom. So, but our services are going to continue. So we'll still have counseling, we'll still have financial aid. The food pantry will still be doing their basic needs pickup spots there on our campus. So the other thing that I wanted to talk to you all about was our academic programs. Many of you may know, many of you may not know, but we do offer 2 complete degrees on our campus. So we offer the general studies programs for behavior and social sciences, and also arts and humanities, which means that if students wanted to take their entire coursework at the East Campus, they could. They could. You know, one of the questions that students always ask is, well, can I take a science? And the answer is yes. Now, you may not be able to take a biology course that has a lab component because we don't have a lab on our campus. But there are other science courses that we do offer on our campus that still meet the same requirements that you would need in order to get your degree or to transfer out. We have our, like I mentioned earlier, we have our medical assisting program, complete program. So when the students are done, they're certified medical assistants that can begin working in our community to help support our community. And then this upcoming spring, we're actually going to start our veterinary assistant program. And that's going to be in collaboration with Ohana veterinarians, which are now located about 2 doors from our location. So it's a great collaboration between Ventura College and Ohana Pet Hospital to provide this service for our students. And it's one of the careers that is in high demand currently. So it's exciting, and it's a new way to ensure that our students are being provided with either general education to transfer onto a 4-year university or to pick up the skills that they may need to enter the workforce if that's what they choose to do. Later on in the presentation, I'm going to show you the course offerings that have been assigned to the East Campus. And this has to do a lot of collaboration and work with my colleagues, my fellow deans and the department chairs of the campus to be able to offer these courses on our campus. So if any of my fellow deans are on the call, thank you so much for supporting the East Campus and the communities that it serves. So enrollment, you're thinking, okay, what is all this, right? So as you can see from the graph on your screen, enrollment is calculated in full-time equivalent students. And as you can see, over the last 3 years, it has increased. This last year, we dipped a little bit, but it has to do with the current situation we're in with COVID. But as you can see, the campus has been picking up in full-time equivalent students. And on the left-hand side, I give you a brief definition of what it means. So it's a student or a combination of students that are taking 12 units. So if a student is taking 12 units at the East Campus, then that's one full-time equivalent student. Let's say 4 students are only taking 1 class, but it's 3 units each class, then that combines into 1 full-time equivalent student. So there's a lot of ways to look at this data and analyze it and see how it's working. The FTEF, the little black bars there on the bottom, that's the allocation that we get to offer courses on the East Campus. So it's not that the East Campus is just being assigned courses, but it's an intentional conversation that I'm having with my fellow deans, because we do have this allocation where we can say, look, these are the courses that we're wanting to offer our community so that they can be successful in what they're trying to do. And again, as you can see, it started at 14 and it's averaging about 19.5 right now. So that's giving us the opportunity to offer about, if you look at it at a 0.2, you're probably looking at about 30 to 35 classes, depending on the unit value that each class holds. So that's valuable information for us as a community to understand that the East Campus is contributing to the full-time equivalent student on our campus and providing access to our students, but that the college is also putting an effort to provide those by giving us our own allocation and contributing to the support of the Santa Clara River Valley. So our enrollment trends, and this is where it gets interesting. And I've only been with the East Campus for about 1.5 years now. And what I've noticed in the data is that every fall we're high. We're in the hundreds, and which is good. And as you can see, it's continued to increase every single fall since 17 to 19. Our downfall is our spring. And And it fluctuates. It just depends on which courses we're offering and how students are accessing those courses. And as you can see, the summer, we do offer courses during the summer. We're not closed. We offer a variety of courses there to help students take classes that they may not have been able to take on the main campus during the spring or fall, and we may offer it on our campus in the summer. But as you can see, the spring fluctuates anywhere between 60 to 75 FTES. And my only estimation right now, as looking at the data and figuring out, is that in the fall, like Enrique mentioned, we have students that are recent graduates from the high school and may not be comfortable being on a larger college campus. So with the efforts of our outreach team and our financial aid team going out and talking to the different senior high schools and populations, we see that influx of students coming to us in the fall. My only assumption right now, and it's assumption and I shouldn't make it because I don't have hard facts, but the only thing that I can think of, since I've only been there 1 year, is that once those students are comfortable with what it means to be a college student, then they transition over to the main campus to take their courses there. So that's where I'm thinking that we're losing some of our students, not losing in particular because they're still Ventura College students, but we're losing them in terms of them accessing our courses that would increase our FTES. The summer, it's popular because our high school students from both high schools are coming onto our campus to take classes that they may need for high school graduation or just to get a jump start on their educational career. So the community access, part of my role for the Dean of the East Campus and student engagement is I oversee dual enrollment, which means that we offer courses on our high school campus where students can take the classes during their regular school day or in the early evenings, early afternoons. And that will also generate FTES, but it also provides access to our students. So if students from Fillmore or Santa Paula can't make it to the East Campus after school, they can take a class on their high school campus. And again, that's a collaboration and a discussion with our fellow deans and our administrative team to see how we can better assist our students in our local communities. We also offer articulation. This means that students can take the class and they have the option of selecting whether they receive college credit or not. One of the most popular courses that we have right now is a college and career course that we offer at both, actually just in Santa Paula. I'm not sure if we offer it in Fillmore anymore, but in Santa Paula, where students can learn and try to figure out what career they may want, but then also at the same time, based on their choice, it'll also inform them of what type of education they're going to need to achieve that goal of the career that they want to do. Outreach, one of the departments that I oversee is our outreach. And like I mentioned earlier, they're in our community, they're in our high schools providing presentations, not just to high school seniors, but we're also getting the information out to our middle schoolers to make them understand that college is for them. And having that discussion now and having that discussion with the parents as well within our community to make them understand, or at least give them a sense that their students can continue to enroll or continue with their education after high school. One of the charges that I've also done given my outreach team is to encourage the parents to come back and take courses, right? A lot of our parents in the communities that we serve are English learners, are immigrant workers that may find benefit in learning English to communicate with their son or daughter's teacher or the administration team on their campuses. So like Enrique mentioned, our students range from high school students to incoming freshmen to adult learners that are either trying to learn English to better themselves and their family, but also picking up different skills that they may need for whatever career they're in. And then lastly, one of the things that I would like to highlight is our East Campus Advisory Group. Lorenzo mentioned at the beginning is that one of the key skills that you need to do or need to have is listening skills, to listen to what the community is asking for and what their needs are. And after that, creating an action plan to help those communities achieve their goal, or at least address what their concerns are. And this East Campus Advisory Group, that's what it is. It has community leaders from Fillmore, from Santa Paula, as well as educational leaders. We have the superintendents from Fillmore and Santa Paula that are part of this. Mr. Mijares is also part of this collaborative. So it's a discussion where we meet once a quarter to discuss, okay, where's the East Campus going? More than anything, it's, Jesus, what are you doing to make this move forward, right? And it's a great opportunity to have that dialogue with our community members to say, look, Jesus, this is what we need. And then I have to go and do the work to at least meet them. I don't want to say halfway because I don't want to disappoint, but meet them where they are at and provide the services that we need. Like I said, we're part of the community. We may not have the educational center that may have been promised, but what I am trying to do is close those educational gaps for our students and our community. And with that, I'll leave it there. Libby, I did want to show one more screen. Let me know if you all can see this. Can you all see the East Campus quick look?
Yes.
Okay, so these are the courses that we have for the East Campus in spring 2021. I'm excited because this is the first, what was that?
Sorry, we can't see the course.
Okay, let me stop sharing and then pop up the other one here.
Okay, sorry.
Can we see it now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yes.
So this is a document that we send out to our local high schools, and I send out to the my advisors on the East Campus Advisory Group so they can share with our community of the courses that we offer on our campus. I'm excited to say that this is the first time since I've been here that we've actually hit 3 full pages of courses that we're offering. So that is an accomplishment within itself. But as you can see, and I'll scroll through these so you can see it, and then I'll also put it in the chat so you all can have the document. But it has a variety of courses to ensure that our students are being successful in achieving their goal, whether it's, again, transfer or an AA degree or the workforce. So I'm excited to say that we're going to be offering our Chicano Studies course this upcoming spring. And something that the current director of the East Campus had asked for was to offer a Spanish course. And we worked very closely with our dean that oversees our foreign languages. And we were able to secure a Spanish course for the East Campus this upcoming spring. So I'm excited about that. And with that, Libby, I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing screen and open it up to questions from the audience.
Awesome. And Frida has a couple more things to share with everyone, and then we'll open it up for questions. So let me share my screen real quick for Frida. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Vega, for your continued leadership here at VC and for that wonderful presentation. We appreciate you bringing awareness to the great academic programs, opportunities, and resources that are available to our students. And so I'd like to remind the students that are in attendance here today that you are eligible to win a free 32-ounce hydro flask. To enter to win, please send Libby Fada a private message with your campus email address. And the addresses will be drawn at random following the webinar, and 4 students will win each week. So please make sure that you follow up with Libby and see if you can win that hydro flask. Okay, and also this has been an incredible series thus far, and sadly we have just one more to go, but we really appreciate everyone just participating, all the wonderful speakers, everything that has been shared throughout this month of celebration. So for the final webinar, it will be on October 14th, and it will focus on Latinx art and celebration, student poetry, and there will be a salsa dance lesson. So please come out and join us for that. Thank you.
Thank you, Frida. So now, are there any questions for our guest speakers today?
Yes, I have a question for Jesus. I tried to download your link for those classes on East Campus, and it says I don't have permission to save this location. Oh, it must be my computer. I'm sorry, my bad. Never mind. You can tell I'm a student. I'm still learning.
No, it's quite all right. It will be posted on the East Campus website as well once we finalize it. So in about a week or so, we'll go ahead and post it on our website as well.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vega. Are there any other questions for our guest speakers today?
I have a question. It looks like we've made a lot of progress with the East Campus, and I'm happy to see a lot of these positive reports. And thank you, Jesus, for the leadership in making those things happen. It also seems like there's a lot of work that we still need to do. And I would like to know how supportive the board has been on this. I know there's an elected official on the board who sadly isn't here. And I think that this information, I guess my question is, how informed is the board of this information and the progress that still needs to be made, and how supportive have they been?
That's a great question, Tanya. And I can only speak to what I know. I'm not sure what the conversations are at the district level. I know I report to the board once a quarter to inform them of what we're doing and what progress we're making with the East Campus. One of the things that I can say is that just having a designated administrator for the East Campus goes to say that they do support what we're trying to do, but I don't want to misspeak and say this is where we're at if I don't have the answer to that. Like I said, I do report to the board once a quarter just to inform them of what's going on the East Campus. But unfortunately, I can't speak on behalf of the board, so I'm not sure, where their support currently stands.
Yeah,
I would like to.
Go ahead, Lorenzo.
I was going to say that just general information is that we have maintained the communication and information with the rest of the trustees. We have engaged in meetings with the chancellor at the district office, and so it's not a question of whether we have maintained the open communication and continue to push this agenda of the need for our center. One of the things that COVID has done, it has kind of put a little damper on a lot of activity, but we are continuing, and we're happy that we are able to count on the leadership from Jesus there from the East Campus, and some of the outcomes that he has presented are directly resulted from the activity that has been going on behalf of not only the Santa Clara Valley, but other organizations that have joined in this effort, LULAC, to name a few. I will say that one of the concerns that we've had all along for a long, long time is that there's been very, very poor representation, in my opinion, in the part of our elected official that's serving this area. And so we're hoping that this next election will produce an elected member that will speak and will be representative of our valley. At a recent educational forum that was held here in Santa Paula, all three candidates that are vying for this position spoke very highly of the need that we have, and the fact that what took place in 2002 in the part of the district was very shameful, as one of the candidates would say, and also spoke to the fact that the current facility it's not becoming of a good place for to have our students be continue to be housed. So we're hoping that with this new election, we will have a champion that can move our agenda forward, and we will continue to press on because we're not done. A lot has been accomplished, and a lot of it has to do with our involvement. So as Manuel Mijares mentioned, and again with the work and support from Jesus, I feel that we are in a very good position right now, and I feel optimistic that things will continue to get better for us.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Tanya, for the question, and Lorenzo for Jesus' Spirit Insight. Are there any more questions for our guest speakers today? All right, well, with that being said, I think it's all right for us to go ahead and wrap up this webinar for today. So I want to thank everyone for coming. Like Frida said, we will be having our last webinar of Latinx Heritage Month next Wednesday at noon. We will be celebrating art through poetry and a salsa dance lesson, and we hope that all of you will be able to attend. And if you have any questions, just send me an email and I will hang on in the meeting room for a little bit. So thank you everyone for coming, and have a great afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.